One of the core pillars of A Day in the Life is innovation. We believe that Christians should be at the forefront in bringing solutions to the world, and our guest today is an epitome of this. She is living to bring relief to PCOS patients and many others who are struggling with lifestyle diseases by using a whole food diet. Chichi Wambua is a certified health and wellness PCOS coach, and she's not coaching you through a life she hasn't lived. She was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 14, and so she understands the ups and downs that come with this hormonal imbalance disease. Tune in to learn more about her journey. My name is Shelmith Njogu, and this episode is brought to you by Pishon Ke. Ensure you subscribe, share, and like this content with your friends and family for much more.
So my name is Chichi Wambua, and I'm a health and wellness PCOS coach. I help women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is the short form for PCOS, be able to reverse it and heal and live free from it. So PCOS, because I'm sure that's what you're wondering, is a metabolic and a hormonal disorder that affects women of reproductive age. Yeah. So it normally presents itself in different symptoms, and normally a gynecologist can be able to say whether you have it or not. And they'll conduct some tests to see whether you have PCOS. But usually these are the signs and symptoms that women have and that I had. Yeah. And some include irregular periods, difficulty in getting pregnant, a lot of facial hair, acne, excess weight, a lot of sugar cravings. Those are just some of the symptoms that are presented, even cysts at times physically in their ovaries.
Yeah, and the sugar craving. Well,
yeah.
Okay. So how did you start?
So my journey is a bit long. Mm-hmm. I was diagnosed with PCOS when I was 14 years old. I started my periods. They're very irregular, and thankfully the high school I went to, the matron noticed that I looked anemic and I'd been bleeding for very long. And she asked me what was it, and I told her, and she's like, why didn't you report it? But those days, there was no one to tell, there was no literature, there was no internet, so I didn't know what to do. So I thought maybe mine were just happening too long, and I didn't want to share with anyone. So she called my parents, and that's when I went to a doctor, and they were able to diagnose. They did some tests and diagnosed me with PCOS, and I was just given some drugs. These drugs now I know are, drugs that are hormonal, just to regulate those periods. Yeah. And I started taking them at 14 years old, and still when I was 20, I still had a problem. And it was very challenging because I had periods, 2 to 3 months periods coming constantly, sometimes a lot, little. I had to take some iron tablets to help me in that. And I didn't understand it, and I thought I was broken. There was something wrong with me. But by the time I was 20, at least there was a little literature about it, but not much. And when I went to see a doctor, a gynecologist, they said I had excess growth in my ovaries, the cysts. That's why it's called polycystic. The cysts, many cysts growing in the ovaries, and that I should do or have an operation, which I did because the doctor is one who is very knowledgeable in that. Yeah. And even after doing that, I continued on with my life, but I had a lot of high sugar cravings. I still had the irregular periods, and when I went to see another doctor, they told me, hey, here, you're not fertile, you're really going to be infertile, you should get a child quickly. The doctor even advised me to start wearing revealing clothes to attract a man. Can you imagine? A guy who was as old as my father. I was almost knocked off my chair. But I told him something. I told him, it's God who gives children, and at the right time, at the proper time, he will give me those children by his grace, if it's his will. Yeah. But I'm not going to jump onto this panic wagon to get children, because children are a gift. They're not a necessity in life. It's just a gift from God. Yeah. And he was shocked. But I was like, and that was not a right way for a doctor to speak to their patient. Yeah. And I went on with life. It was very challenging because getting relationships with men, probably for me when I was dating, it was for marriage. So telling them that there's something wrong with me was very hard emotionally, because I was like, will this person understand? If they want children, they should be up for adoption and all that. But thankfully, by God's grace, I met a very wonderful man who is my definitely current and only husband. And he was willing to walk that journey with me. And from there, we started going to see many doctors because we wanted to have children. And it was very tough emotionally. It was extremely tough financially, because the options are very limited, and PCOS was now becoming known. It was now getting a bit popular, and it was hard to tell people, you know, after 3 years, mtoto ako wapi? Where is you cannot see the baby. That was hard. And another hard thing was, because of PCOS, my tummy would be really big. So some people would think I'm already pregnant because of that insulin resistance happening in my body. And finally, by God's grace, I had to take a lot of fertility tablets, and I still have the side effects till today to be able to get pregnant. And still, by God's grace, because there's a place for medicine. There's a place for doctors. There's a place for that. And I thank God for the doctor that I finally found, who was able to walk with me down this road. But with time, I realized my symptoms are still there. I was still having the irregular bleeding. The cysts came back. I went to check, have a scan. Can you imagine, after doing an operation, they still came back, even after giving birth. And so PCOS was with me, and I was like, I do not want any more hormonal drugs. I'm just tired of them. This is not a way to live. And this is when I started researching. Now, there was internet, thankfully. Started researching and finding out, and I realized, oh my goodness, the people saying here who reversed their PCOS and they don't have PCOS anymore. And I was very curious. So I met a friend who had fibroids, and she'd already gone for surgery, and the fibroids came back again. And she was very frustrated. The same as me, who had PCOS. So we were both frustrated, and we were like, oh, you have this, I have this. I've seen this on TV, and these doctors are saying that you can reverse it with natural foods. But my friend already had the lifestyle habits going for her. She ate right, she exercised, she slept well. I mean, she was this like perfect chick who I wished to be like. Because I, on the other hand, struggled with sleeping. I was eating a lot of junk food. I was just living life, but not the right way, in the sense of when nutrition and habits are placed together. And we tried it. She said, let's try it. I'll do it for 3 months, and you see, we proved this doctor wrong. So we both did it. For me, it was off and on, because I still had the habits. I didn't know about food addiction. There was a lot still going on in my life. And for her, she did it consistently. And lo and behold, 3 months after, she went to the doctor, and they told her, oh my goodness, 4 fibroids have shrunk. They are not there. What have you been doing? And she was like, what? This is real. This is real. I've done this for 3 months. Imagine if she did it for a year, 2 years. The fibroids would shrink and should not have the problem. And I was like, there's something here. And in this period, I was living in Senegal with my family. So we came back to Kenya. So when I met this friend, I was in Senegal, so we came back to Kenya. And coming back to Kenya, I was always in the HR industry. I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't feel like I wanted to go back to HR. And I said, I want to do something passionate that I like, that can really impact people. And I prayed about it and sought God on what to do. And I was very interested already on PCOS, food and nutrition. Anytime when someone was going abroad, I would say, oh, bring me this health book, bring me this. So there was something happening. There was a change in me that was happening. And with time, I read more literature on diseases and hormones and all that, and I was like, I'm really interested in this, but I need more, scientific information. So I went back to school, and that was when I was 41. I went back to school at 41 to learn about health and wellness coaching, and I also went to learn about plant-based nutrition. And this opened another world for me, and it was very exciting. And with by faith and grace in the Lord, I entered into that field because I started doing what I was taught and what I saw, and my PCOS was reversed. I went back to hospital to check the cysts. There were no more cysts. My periods were no longer irregular. I just felt normal. It was, how many years had I been having irregular periods?
That's a long time.
Yeah. It's a really hot minute. From the time I was 14 to now, when I was entering my late 30s into my 40s. So when I was able to do that, I said, then I can help women. And not only did my PCOS reverse, I had headaches, consistent headaches. I used to carry a pack of Panadol like every day. I would take some, which is really unhealthy. And I used to fear doctors because I thought they'd tell me there's something. You know, the fear of doctors. They'll tell me there's something wrong. So I just always pop my medicine, and I knew it was wrong. And to soothe my headache, I would also take sugar. Can you imagine? Now I'm taking medication plus sugar because I really want some soothing. So there I had a sugar problem. And then I had also acid reflux. I remember we talked about it before. And I would sleep, and this acidity, build-up of acidity would come. But when I changed my diet, I realized, oh my goodness, when did I have that, acid reflux? It had gone. So many changes were happening. My body weight, I was really big. I started slimming out. And it was fantastic. Not for me, for my husband, for my children. And I made a clean switch and changed to a plant-based diet. But it's a whole food plant-based diet. And a whole food plant-based diet looks like this. You're eating whole foods from the ground. So what happens when you eat animals, especially when you have PCOS, it's a hormonal disorder. When you're eating animals, they already have their hormones. So when you're eating that, you're adding more hormones and causing a lot of havoc and imbalance in your body. Then secondly, animal products have a lot of fat. Insulin resistance is caused by fat blockage in the cells. I know people say it's sugar, but it's not sugar, because most of my clients I have met who have insulin resistance, when they change their diet, their sugar starts working, because the fat, the insulin is a hormone that needs to enter into the cells, but it's been blocked by the fat. When you start eating a low-fat diet, removing the processed oils, removing the animal products, then the insulin is able to work and enter into the cells and make things work in the body. So what happens when doctors say sugar, because a biscuit is made of what? Flour, fat, and sugar together. If you're eating a mandazi, the common factor again is fat and sugar. If I'm thinking of ice cream, fat and sugar. If I'm thinking of chapos, the same, but they look at the sugar, but it's not really the sugar, it is the fat that prevents this. So a lot of revelations that I got to find out, and healing and seeing the change. So eating whole food plant-based looks like what we're taking. We're eating natural fruits. We are drinking very nice herbal tea. No additives in it. And this kind of foods heal. The father of medicine, called Hippocrates, said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. If you're able to eat right, we will give less stress to the doctors. Because today if you're hit by a car, I'll not tell you eat a mango, you'll feel better. You need a doctor to attend to you. We need medicine and doctors for certain things, but there are certain things you need to take ownership of your own health and wellness and change. So that's what I did. I changed. And changing a diet is not like in a snap you just do it. It's a process, because it's changing your lifestyle. I realized I was not sleeping, and because I was not sleeping, I would take more food to stay awake. And then the next day I'm so stressed and tired, and it just became a cycle. It was not only the food, and then now the food, because foods are addictive. When you add sugar, fat and salt, it becomes an addictive substance. It's hard. You don't sleep thinking, hey, I need to eat a carrot. No. For me, I sleep thinking, hey, that chocolate cake. For someone else, it may be, hey, that beer, I really need to get it. They are addictive foods. When they are stripped away of their fiber, of their nutrients, of the water, it gives the brain a high dopamine hit. So we are not broken. There's something also I realized, I'm not broken. It's how our environment is. It gives us high dopamine hits that are unnatural. Think about even scrolling on the phone. There's so much you keep seeing and wanting more and more and more, and one is not enough. And when that happens, it disrupts things in our body. And then now we get addicted to those things. So moving from the standard Kenyan diet to just eating a whole food plant-based diet took time.
And isn't it what our grandparents had? You said you've said a lot, but I'm intrigued, and I'm sure it will help someone on your stand when you told the doctor, no, I cannot do such a thing. Because it's this week, I think so, I read an article on Facebook. Someone said they were diagnosed with, I'm not sure, but it's one of those hormonal diseases that even led her to her ovaries getting removed. And she was saying that she was asked to have a child quickly in her mid-20s. She had a boyfriend, and so she started heaping that pressure on the boyfriend. Want a child. I want a child.
It's we as a Christian, you're living with Christ principles. You're not the one in control of whether when you want a child or not. And when you start having relationships, sexual relationships outside the marriage covenant, then you're sinning. So you'll not be doing things right. You have to do God's things done in God's ways bring about God's blessings. So I totally understand where she's coming from. And doctors, that's the best they know. He's telling you, actually that doctor is telling you from an innocent place, but it is not the right way. You cannot put pressure and force, because it doesn't become a very comfortable situation to be in and can bring other problems later on in the relationship. So I totally understand. And the challenge doctors have, they're hardly taught on nutrition. They're hardly taught nutrition. So they don't know. They're taught a lot about procedures, about medicine, and how it works in the bodies, which we need. I'm not against doctors. I have relatives who are doctors. I love them. I love doctors. They've helped me get babies. I love them very much. But this is just to say there's a place for food. And if doctors were able to see what their founding father, Hippocrates, said, food can be medicine. And we don't have to have all these problems we are having just because of the food. And today's food, how many of these things from abroad are coming? There's a KFC across the road. I struggle with my kids, processed foods versus natural foods. You know, one is dopamine hitting, the other one is calming and soothing. It's a hard bargain. And until you know the knowledge and actually see for yourself how food changes you, there's no turning back. You are just on that safari, wanting to see change continually.
I think that knowledge part, because I didn't know that about insulin, it makes a lot of sense. And now I'm thinking all of my friends will have to watch this.
They should watch it.
And maybe you can share even where you went to school, because I think there's information. It's really important.
So for the plant-based nutrition, I went online, Cornell University. It's a university in the States, and they have a plant-based program. And the fantastic thing was, you're taught about medicine in all areas of life, from birth, the gynecologist, how food affects you, your brain. We had neurologists who taught us. From the heart, we had cardiologist doctors teaching us. From arthritis and the bones, we had those doctors teaching us. So when you see a professional who's gone to school and studied and has the knowledge and is telling you about it, it's pretty believable. And you see the data, you see the studies, and you're like, wow. You want to shout it to the mountaintop. And tell people, you don't have to be on drugs forever. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be worried about where to do harambes and get money to go to hospital. You can do it right at the comfort of your home with affordable food. And in Kenya, we are blessed. We are blessed with good weather, good soils.
We
are blessed. If you could just keep changing those things to be able to benefit us, then it will be good. It will be very good. But you're fighting against the big pharmacies, the pharmaceutical industry, the medical doctors, the food industry. At times are together, and it can be very hard to prevent. There's no money in me advertising saying this is a mango, buy more. But there's money if I have tablets and saying take this to help your acid reflux. There's money, and it's quick. Medicine is instant. The Panadol I was taking was helping my headaches go, but the deeper work was more than the Panadol. That was just the surface level. I was not looking at the root cause of this problem. And once you start eating food to heal you, God is amazing. You just feel better.
Well, I'm thinking about the taking back your power, because I've had my natural hair from 2016, When I realized, you mean I can comb out my hair without the blow dryer? It was such a shock for me.
Wow.
And so it was, you can't blame a salonist that they're not taking care of your hair. Well, you don't know how to take care of your hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that you've been teaching online. Yeah, about taking back your power.
Yeah, you've nailed it there. You have to be comfortable in who you are and what is working for you.
Yeah.
And you know, because we have been taught that a certain type of look is beautiful, that doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
Just because everyone says this type of look is beautiful, that doesn't mean it's true. And at times, as human beings, we have to sit back and think, is it really true? Could there be some, we have to be curious. If you're not curious about your lifestyle, that's not something, you have to be curious and want to know the truth. And if you are not curious enough to grow out your hair, let it be natural and beautiful, you'd never know. So even for me, this plant-based lifestyle, because when you talk about plants and not eating meat, I get a lot of attacks. I'm not, if it's working, whatever is working for you is working for you, kudos, keep at it. But if it's not been working for you, you're still taking medicine, you're still going to the doctors, you're still taking the same drugs, why not try something different? Why not be curious and say, let me try. Will you miss other foods? Of course! You're going to miss them because the tongue, there's something called neuroadaptation. The tongue adapts to what you give it. So for me, who had a sugar problem, to adapt to not taking sugar, that was hard. I had to experience withdrawal symptoms. Not taking high-fat foods from the meat was hard. I am Chichi Wambua, yes, married to a Kamba, but I'm a Kalenjin. I grew up eating meat and drinking milk. That's what I knew. But that...
Oh, that one was a hard try.
Yeah, it was hard because my culture says this. My parents are like, you're not eating meat, you're not drinking milk. Why? And I had to explain to them, and thankfully they are very open-minded and said, this is working for you and it's helping your body, go for it. But this stories where you're told, but my grandmother has only been eating this, or my grandfather has been drinking all his life and lived till 109. That's your grandfather, that's not you. You look at you and take back your power and say, what will I do? I always tell my clients, you have to tell yourself, you have to show up for yourself. No one is coming to show up for you. Even when you're trusting in God, faith without action is dead. Trust in God and start following that process. And it may be hard. Even in Christianity, it even follows in Christianity, the route is narrow. It is not broad and happy and nice. It's narrow. But God will walk you through that fiery path. And it's the same with food. It's not easy every day choosing a different type of food to eat because it's not how people eat. It's uncomfortable, but you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to take up your space. You have to take back your power and say, hey, this is what's working for me. What's working for you? And if it's working for you, good. We're not here to fight. We're here to see what's working for you and make you feel better.
What is it about the natural, the whole plant-based meals or food would you want people to know or like drill it inside people? Like when you look at our habits, that I wish you knew this. So there are two parts. So I'll start with processed foods, especially ultra processed, because if I make this into juice, it's minimally processed, but ultra processed. When foods are processed, the natural form is destroyed. So you've removed the fiber, and fiber is very good because it helps insulin rise slowly and naturally. It doesn't give you a hit and then drop you down. So it has fiber. It has nutrients, actually called phytonutrients. These are the nutrients that help you fight disease in the body. And I think scientists are still discovering more and more about what God put in this food to heal us. So those phytonutrients, when they are there, they heal the body. But when they are stripped away, they harm the body. So when you break down something too much and change it, then it's harmful. It's overly processed and the body cannot take it up as it was meant to take it up. It's a totally different product for the body. So that's number one. Processed foods have been removed for the fiber and the nutrients and the water. And then that processed food gives you a dopamine hit and you'll want more and more of it. So it doesn't help. It's unnatural. Now, because you can take a potato and have chips, you can have crisps, you know, potato chips, you know, Americans, I think, call them potato chips. We call them crisps. The form has been totally changed.
First and foremost, again, you put it in oil, a refined product with extremely high calories that burns out, it destroys the nutrients. It's like me pouring oil on my skin. By the time my skin heals from that oil, it probably will leave a mark there. Yet we're eating that food that is being destroyed by the oil and putting it into our bodies. We are not actually honoring this temple God gave us. And God is a God of second chances all the time. There are times of ignorance. But there's time to know and change your path. So that's number one. Is processed food, it really hurts you. And the processed oils also hurt you. Whole food, plant-based, is you look at something in its natural form. You eat it, it has everything complete in it. One sec. Sorry. Yeah. So when you eat this, let me eat a banana. When you eat this banana, it still has its peel. God has put it there. It's full of potassium. It has fiber. It's filling. And it's amazing because I can still use this as manure. You know, I can put it in my compost bin and make it as manure in my shamba, if I had a shamba, in my garden. And it tastes pretty good. It's sweet, it's creamy. It makes me feel really nice. And I'm not going to sleep and tomorrow be thinking I need to buy bananas in the supermarket. I'll be in a normal state, as opposed to my favorite, a chocolate cake, full with cream and a lot of sugar and a lot of oil. Oh my goodness, tomorrow I'll be thinking, hey. I need to go back to that restaurant. And I'm not demonizing cakes and saying they're bad. There's a place during occasions. But today, we're eating too much of that. It's like every day is Christmas. We're just keeping on eating this. You go to someone's house, there are mandazis. What's mandazis? It doesn't have nutrients. It's empty. You're eating empty calories there. But is it yummy? For sure. It gives you that dopamine hit. Yes, I want more of it. But is it good for your body? No. And when you're in your 20s, you can play around. Eat that thing. Hello? Knock, knock. 30s is coming and 40s is coming. And don't think you're different from anyone else. I always tell myself, I'm not different from someone who has diabetes. I'm not different from someone who's had a heart attack. I'm not different from someone. All that's different from me is the choices I'm making now. And may God help me make the right choices. Eating a whole food plant-based diet is like putting on a safety belt in the car. When an accident happens, that belt helps you not have high impact. Does it mean I cannot get cancer? I hope I don't. But I'm like any other human. Can I get a heart attack? I hope I do not. But I'm like any other human, I can. But right now, I'm doing the things to help me not have that. And to make my body feel well, to sleep well. You know, when your mind is calm, you can have better relationships with others. I remember in the past, I used to wake up hungry. Like I can eat a lion if I've not eaten my breakfast. And you know what my breakfast was? It was pain raisin. It's like bread, brochette bread, the long one. And then I would put some sardine, fish, some little vegetables or like garnishing, not the main meal. Some little vegetables. And take my milk tea with sugar. I didn't know that insulin spike goes up. And that's why the next day I wake up so ravenously hungry.
And tired.
Yes, and tired, irritable. I need to have my fix. But today I wake up, Manze, 10 has reached, I'm not hungry. 11 has reached, I'm not hungry. Am I forcing myself to intermittent fast? No. It's because I've eaten so much fiber, my body is still processing it and I don't have to wake up that hungry. But let me tell you, when I eat an Oreo cookie or something like that, the next morning, for sure I wake up very, very hungry. So when you realize and discover the power of food, it's simple. I think the simplicity at times makes it hard for doctors to understand. It's too simple. But yet it's very complex because how does this food work to make your body behave like that? But it's simple. It's very simple. And adopting a whole food plant-based diet is very simple. Is it easy? Now you have to change your habits. You have to change your mindset. You need to get your mind tuned in nutrition. You need to honor your body. You need to learn to tell people no. You need to be okay being uncomfortable. You need to be ready to prepare your own food. You need to be ready to be inconvenienced because you're not going to just buy that pack of biscuits as a quick fix for your sugar, you're going to learn to carry a fruit because the sugar rises slowly. Those are inconveniences, but that lead to greater benefits to your body. And once you continue a habit often enough, it becomes easy. It becomes easy. It's like doing a push-up. When I go to the gym, I remember the first time being told to do a push-up, I'm like, man, this is hard. But it's hard, of course, because I've not been doing that. I've not been practicing those muscles. But if I ask my gym instructor, gonga 15 sahi, he will do it so easily because this is what he does. It's his practice. It's his lifestyle. So when you start making food and how you sleep, nourish yourself, your relationship, it becomes a lifestyle. And you thrive and enjoy it.
Yeah, very true. How does it make you feel when you see your clients heal?
Oh my goodness, that's the most exciting part of my job. It's seeing them heal, seeing a difference. And normally, even within the first week, when someone has been consistent, they already see the difference. And why I even changed, I was just doing health and wellness nutrition. I still do that, but I focus a lot on Pcos. I still see different clients. But the first thing for women, if they had pain when they're having their menstrual cycle, the pain goes away. Their menses become more regular. That was the one thing I noted. I was like, wow, this is interesting. This client came to me because of maybe weight loss, or this client came to me because they had insulin resistance, but yet this is the first thing as a woman they're reporting. So it's exciting because the client starts seeing the difference. It's like you watching a rose bud and bud to become a beautiful flower. So when I see that, it's really nice. I feel that they're empowered, that they know the truth, that this is just not hype and a lot of talk. This is a real change they're making to seeing their lives. And by the way, health and wellness is just not about food. Nutrition plays a huge part, but there's the role of sleep, there's the role of movement, there's the role of relationships, there's the role of your career, your purpose in life. All this play and interconnect with each other. And once you start balancing one area, the others start getting into balance. And you as a whole being get balanced.
So it's not just one lane.
It's not just one lane when you're a health and wellness coach. You're looking at the totality of wellness in a human being, in a person.
Have you seen them change like their diet completely?
Yes, there's one client I had who she didn't know what disease it was, a lot of pain. There was a time she told me she could not even stand because the pain would be too much. She used to stand on the pulpit, she was a pastor, and it would be too much. The nights she was in bed, bedridden in pain. Pain is not something nice, physical pain, emotional pain, whatever pain you have, it's not a nice and enjoyable thing, but it's a blessing because it teaches you that you need to do something about it. So she'd gone to see doctors, specialists. They could not diagnose what was wrong with her. Finally, normally people come to me when I'm the last resort. Let's see what you can do. I've seen all the specialists. And we started with her. She said, oh my goodness, the first 1 week, it was just amazing for her to move around without pain. In her arm, she could not even be able to close her zip. She now could be able to lift it up and close. And she was totally flabbergasted. Food, just eating plants, not eating protein, is making me feel better. It was amazing for her. And that was a start in her lifestyle for change. And she in fact told many people, like, listen up you guys, stop suffering. Change your food. Eat whole food, plant-based, and you'll feel amazing. And another thing people keep telling me, I remember now a pastor telling me, oh, don't bring, this is cultic. I wanted to volunteer with the youth in church, and he was like, okay, Paul said about food and this and this, and I'm like, hey, boss, relax.
It's not all that.
Relax. If I tell you to stop eating crisps, or I tell you to stop eating mandazi for your health, does it mean I'm taking you away from the faith of God? No. Food does not take you to heaven. Living a godly life, trusting in Christ Jesus, dying to yourself, taking up your cross daily is what leads you to Christ. Hizi maneno ya chakula tunaziwacha hapa. We are living these things here. You're going to die. We're going to go to heaven. That there's no, we are not told if you eat more plants, you get closer to Christ. No. We're looking things as it is here. Yeah. If I live in a cleaner house, I'm more clean, I'll have less bacteria, my children will get less sick. Yeah. Doesn't mean they'll get closer to Christ Jesus. Yeah. So I always have that standard and tell Christians, no, it's not about that. But honoring your temple, yes, you do honor your temple when you do that. So that's just a disclaimer. Yeah. Because I'm a born-again Christian, and this is for people who are born again and would like to see this. Yeah, it's not something to do with your salvation.
Yeah, and you say it affects your health. If you're sick, you cannot serve God.
Yeah,
because you need this body.
This didn't come. Yeah, this is not coming from me. It's coming from yes. When you're sick, you cannot serve God as you'd like to, and it's so sad to see pastors who, you know, you're on diabetic drugs for the last 30 years. And you're getting more sick and sicker and sick. Why can't you not see the projection? I've been with this doctor for the last 30 years and I've not gotten better. Can I try curiosity? Can I try something else different to make me feel better? Yeah. And the doctor needs to be there to help you taper off from the drugs. Yes. I can't help you taper off from the drugs because I'm not a specialist in how medicine works for the body. I'm a specialist in how food works for the body. Yeah. So the doctor now should work hand in hand with health and wellness coaches. That's what I do at times in my day-to-day, is to see doctors to tell them how I can work hand in hand with their patients. Yeah. But the most doctors are the younger ones like you because they're more open-minded. The older doctors, not all, I'm not saying all, but most, either see me as a threat, a quack, unnecessary, but yet the younger ones see me like, yeah, she can make this person change their habits so that they don't need to do a gastric bypass or whatever. They don't have to be on this insulin forever because it boils down to your habits. It boils down to your mindset. True. Yeah, I mean, why aren't we all healed then? Where there are still fat people? Why? See, it's because it's very hard to get off these habits. Yeah, I mean, like someone tell me every day you should wake up to jog because it's good for me. Let me tell you, you need to help me get out of that bed first. You need to make me have habits to say, yeah, just buy an extra sport shoes. It's hard. Change is hard. Yeah. But once you get into that imperfect way of doing it consistently, it becomes easier. Yeah. And
you see, you're talking about the food, the mindset, changing the mindset.
The mindset.
Because there is something you said in the beginning, and I'm thinking, wow, if I have this kind of information that the animals, the meat from the animals have
a lot of fat
and their own hormones.
Their own hormones.
I didn't know that.
And they have, they are given a lot of antibiotics. The biggest use of antibiotics, guess, is with who? Animals. It's not us humans. Humans, we use less. Animals use more. But guess who is eating that food? You. Let me tell you a very interesting story. I had a client who had a UTI, uterine infection. He had it for the last 2 years. And it was distressing him. Because if you've ever had a UTI, which are common, it's not that you're sick, it's not a sexual disease, it's just an infection. Going to the bathroom, it can have a burning sensation. If you're married and having mutual relationships with someone else, it can be challenging. This can be challenging in me. If you're feeling itchy, you can't go. It's just a hard place to be, but it is what it is. I have had a UTI. I have ever had. And by then I used to have many when I used to take a lot of sugar because your antibodies are really lowered. Sugar really suppresses that. And once you start eating well, you don't start having that. And you told me, what can I do? After everything, in fact, now they have said surgery is the last option. I told him, no, thank God you've come to me. Today in class, we learned about eggs, and eggs have this bacteria that causes a lot of UTIs. And guess what? He was an egg farmer. He kept chicken, and eggs and chicken. So he stopped. Again, 3 months. You know, you have to give it time. 3 months. Yeah. UTI disappeared. Wow. He didn't have to do an operation because he just changed his food. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. This bad food suppresses our immune system. Your body is always fighting to make it wants to work. It's fighting for you, not against you. And at times when you have PCOS, you feel your body is against you. It's not. It's the food you're eating that is against you. but your body is fighting for you to heal. So that example just shows, yeah, these animals, they carry a lot of bacteria also. And another thing that changed me, and I never used to be vegan, you know, at times yes, I am a vegan because I don't eat animal products. I also try maybe not to wear animal products, but I'm not that. I'm more of a whole food plant-based follower. I do that, but I learned the suffering animals have. Think about it. In Genesis, we're told to take dominion and to take care of the animals, but you look at them in cages, shut in, so that someone can have that food on their plate. Yeah. They are given hormonal drugs to grow big, those chicken, very fast. Yeah. They are given antibiotics because in those spaces and conditions they are in, a lot of diseases thrive. And please, watch us. I'm not saying all farmers do this. Yeah. I am just saying generally speaking.
To supply all those chicken
to supply
in Nairobi.
Yes. How many chicken are killed in a day for us to, and I was part of that. I used to love chicken. And I'm not bashing anyone to make them feel bad, but I was part of that system. But nowadays I see that and I feel very sad for the animal. I see a pig in a cemented ground, caged, only to be slaughtered later on. I see chicken, how many are put in one cage, only being given again even food that is not good for them. They don't get to see light with their own eyes. They don't get to walk around. They don't. Do you know a pig is a very intelligent animal? And cow is a very intelligent. They have feelings. For you to take that milk, that cow has to continuously be impregnated for you to get that milk, dairy milk you're drinking every day in your tea. And in the past, maybe it was not the same. I'm probably thinking it's only when the cow got pregnant, you got the milk. Why are we drinking a cow's milk? You finish your wind, you're off. We are the only mammals still drinking other animals' food. And other animals are not coming for our milk. Please, we don't need to take people's other milk. Leave the cows with their calves to enjoy their milk. We can enjoy our herbal teas. Yeah. We can enjoy plant-based milk like soy milk, like almond milk, like cashew milk, like groundnut milk. There are so many, oat milk. There are so many types of other milk. The alternatives. We do not need to let the animals suffer. That's something I have learned recently, and I have seen, because you change, you start to see, oh my, we are really making these animals suffer in the name of appetite. Yeah. Even tukiangalia Biblia, when the children of Israelites were crying for quail, what did God give? He gave manna. Yeah. Manna was a grain-like substance. It was not an animal being killed. Those animals being killed were killed for sacrifices. And so at times, you do the best with what you know. I never judge anyone because they're eating a certain way. Yeah. My children still eat animal products because they grew up eating it. And living and removing that becomes very hard. And I ask myself, which is the better thing? A better relationship with them, or to have a contentious relationship with them because of food? I rather a better relationship with them. Yeah. If they need to make their food choices, let them make them when they're independent and they can do that. And God still loves all of us. Yeah. Yeah. Whether eating meat or not eating meat, He loves us. Just do it in a responsible way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're making really good cases, because I'm thinking I need to do a lot of adjustments.
Yeah, you should try it out. Try for 1 week.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So you've talked about the struggles when you were diagnosed.
Yes.
And how was it like? How did you, is it like argue your disease or struggle with God concerning what that was?
Yeah. So it was a big struggle, because I did not know what was going on. I had prayed, you've gone for an operation, nothing is happening. But the biggest struggle was trying to get children. That was very big. And it came to a point where my husband and I had to agree and come to the realization, what I said, children are a gift from God. Marriage is for companionship. Children are a bonus. Marriage, companionship, not marriage children. Yeah. Yes, He wants us to bring up godly offspring, for sure. Yeah. But the main reason He brought Adam and Eve together, because Was Adam lonely for a child or a companion? He said a companion.
Yeah.
That's what, and this, my kids, I always tell myself, by the time they're 21, my goodness, they have left me. They'll be living their own lives. So this relationship with my husband is something that's very special. And we had to get to that point of surrender and say, God, hey, show me what to do. Show me the way. Help us. And when you reach the point of surrender, it's when God starts opening your eyes to see what to do. So I remember even when I reached the point, I changed my jobs. I was in HR. I worked in an NGO. I left to start business. I was doing customer care service. So yeah, I have been in different spaces. And my husband was having his job. So we were still trying to get children. I quit, the hassle of starting a new job. And then after quitting, 3 months later, I think it was 3 months, I'm not too sure, my husband lost his job. So you can imagine, we are kind of both jobless, because when you're starting out a business,
yes,
I was the cleaner, the sweeper, the everything. I could only afford interns, people from college who just need something to show. It was hard. And in that hardness is when God made us pregnant, got pregnant. And I was like, are you playing a joke on us, God? We don't even have insurance. What will we do? And now you've made us pregnant. And such a state. It was very challenging, but very revealing. God is God. And his timing is perfect because he wants you to rely on him. And when we did that, God in his miracle, I remember even I had planned, living in Nairobi, but I'll go to Kikuyu, the missionary hospitals, because I was like, okay, clearly I don't have insurance. I need to search for a hospital to give birth to this child, and it probably will be through CS because I'm using a lot of hormonal drugs. The doctors will want this and this, etc., etc. But his provision is very sufficient. It's so sufficient. And yes, my husband, after 1 year or 2 or so, I don't remember how long it was. Can you imagine now? Even I've already forgotten the days of struggle. Yeah. The days of struggle come to an end. Yes, yes. And his grace is sufficient. He gives you what you need, not what you want. Yeah. And he gives you at his own time. And God in his own time, at the time when giving birth, he provided. Mm-hmm. He's so faithful, and he's still providing in his small and beautiful ways. But anakupatia kiboko kidogo tu kuonyesha this is the way. Don't trust in your ways. Yeah. Don't think it has to be like this and this and this and that. Don't think happiness only comes with a child. Happiness only comes with a husband. Happiness only comes with this. No. Happiness comes with Christ. He's complete. He's everything.
Yeah. 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 How would you say your identity in Christ affects what you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
It affects what I do in a big way, because my identity is definitely in Christ. Yeah. And normally when I have clients, if they're Christian, I'll always ask, can we pray before the sessions and after the sessions? Because we are committing all this process to the Lord to help us through. Yeah. Secondly, even when I'm searching for business or people, I pray and ask God, open those opportunities that are worthy for me, for your glory. Yeah. And whatever I'm doing, I always remember I'm doing it for the glory of Jesus Christ, not for my glory. Yeah. So, yes, in every way, see, from the time trying to get clients, give me ideas, Lord, help this client, Lord. I'm always depending on him, and he's always showing through. And even in the times when I feel he's very silent, I still keep on depending on him, because I don't know how life would be if I did not know Jesus. I think I would be very lost. Probably right now I'd be maybe nursing a hangover. I don't know. Maybe in another man's arms. I really thank God, because God's truth has shown me the path to go. Yeah. Left on my own, I would be a very deceitful person, wanting to doing anything to gain money, popularity. Yeah. These things, what worldly success, whatever that means to somebody. Yeah. But now, when I know Jesus and he shows me the way I should walk, then I ask him to give me the grace and strength to do the right thing that honors him. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, eternal life is in him. Yeah. And we are going to live forever. Yeah. So I better have my path straight. Yeah. And helps. Knowing Jesus is just beautiful. It's so comforting. Imagine if I'm stressed, I'm not running to beer, I'm running to pray. If I did not know Jesus, I would definitely run to this or run to food. Yeah. When I have a problem and I need to do something, I remember the past, where God has brought me from, where God has brought you from, where God has brought another friend. I'm like, He'll come through for me. Life is spiritual, really. So in every area and space in my life, Christ is alive in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not a perfect Christian. Yeah, now kuna mabonde na milima. But God helps me through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Thank you so much.
You're
for
so
this,
welcome.
Interview.
Yes.
You had said you're going to cook for us.
Yes, I'm going to cook so I can show you how a whole food plant-based diet looks like.
Yeah.
And how it's nourishing. And we can also, you can ask me, I'm always asked, where is the protein coming from? Yeah, we can talk about that also. And all those other questions people ask about food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my worry is usually the oil.
The oil.
I don't know what I wanted to cook. And then I was like, you know, you're having an interview next week with Chichi. You should not put oil.
Well,
let's see how this is going to happen.
Exactly.
And then I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I had the onions, and being single, you're impatient, so you put even the tomatoes together.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
yeah, you see how hard it is to break a habit?
Yeah.
It's very, and your belief on how food should be cooked. We've cooked all our life with oil, and then now someone's telling you stop oil.
Yeah.
Allah, are you okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. And today I'll show you how to cook without oil and how food can still be so delicious.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm totally curious.
Fantastic. Let's go to the kitchen and show you.